Part 1 of how to make Copycat Dairy Queen ice cream cake. Let's go.
Okay, step 1 for making this Dairy Queen cake. I have 1 cup full of Oreo crumbs. I just took a sleeve and just smashed them up with meat tenderizer in a Ziploc bag. I've got them on parchment paper on a cookie sheet. I've got my oven warming up to 350. I've melted 2 tablespoons of butter, and we're just going to kind of drizzle this over top of this, mix it all up, and we're going to bake this for 8 to 10 minutes. Next in this process is the ice cream. So you're going to need a springform pan and plastic wrap. So I have used probably 3 pieces of plastic wrap and just made sure that the entire bottom's covered and the sides are covered, because you don't want this leaking. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take an entire tub of the chocolate first. Now, if you can't tell, I've let this soften on the counter for probably 20 minutes before I'm doing this. It just makes it easier to spread. What we're going to do, we're going to take this and spread this all across the bottom into an even layer on the bottom. Once I have this evenly spread to where I like it, then we're going to pop this back in the freezer for half an hour, and then we're going to repeat a similar process with vanilla. Before we do that, though, that's why our Oreos are baking in the oven right now. That's going to go in between, just like the Dairy Queen cake, right? You know, that fudgy good stuff that's in the middle? That's my favorite part. Anyways, I'm putting this in the freezer. Okay, we're on to our next step here. My cookie crumbles are baking. My first layer of ice cream's in the freezer. Now we're doing the fudgy stuff. So I've got a cup of chocolate chip cookies. I've got 2 tablespoons of corn syrup and just a little sprinkle of vanilla. Then I warmed up some heavy cream in the microwave. This is half a cup of heavy cream. And we're just going to stir this until everything's all melted and mixed together. Once the ice cream has sat in the freezer for half an hour, then you're going to put this fudgy layer on. You're going to let that sit on there. If you're feeling confident with how you have it on there, then you're going to crumble your cookies on top. Alright, this is just about ready. We'll move on to the next step. These just came out of the oven. This is what they look like. I cooked them for 10 minutes. We're going to set them aside and let them cool, and then we're going to crumble them. Okay, this is cooled down. I'm just going to break it up with your hands. Get some smaller pieces. Some smaller bite-sized pieces. Okay, I feel like that's good. Move that to the side. Our ice cream is out of the freezer. Pretty good. Now, this is what our fudginess looks like. We're pouring this all over the top of our first layer. Once I get this fully covering this first layer, I'm sprinkling those crunchy cookie bits on there. So I just need to give this a quick little smooth around. We're going to put those crunchy bits on top, and then we do really want this next bit to sit and set in the freezer, because you still have to put that top layer of the ice cream on, and you don't want this moving all around when you're trying to spread your ice cream, right? So, here we go. Put this almost all on there. Okay. I will see you in a little bit when this is good and set.
Okay. Everything is set. I kind of had it on a bit of an angle in the freezer. That's okay. No one's going to know the difference. So now we're doing our vanilla layer. Do the same thing with the chocolate. Pull it all out, spread it around, try to make it as flat and even as you can, and then back into the freezer. So, I'm gonna have to do part 2 to this video because I've got to decorate it and everything. So, come on back and see what happens for part 2 of making this Copycat Dairy Queen ice cream cake.